Hello, my name is Joshua Cruz, and I am taking a look at the study, Countering Anti-Vaccination Attitudes, by Zachary Horne, Derek Powell, John E. Hummel, and Kenneth J. Holyoke. If I mispronounced that last name, my apologies. Background. As of late, there has been a re-emergence of certain preventable diseases. The anti-vaccine movement has been gaining some traction, and as the numbers grow, so do the numbers of unvaccinated children, allowing for the return of these preventable afflictions. Fears that vaccines can cause autism have been circulating, and this fear has driven parents away from getting their children protected, which has had dire consequences and will continue to do so until mindsets can be changed. Unfortunately, the current fears, especially of the autism connection, are unfounded and are not the consensus of the scientific community. These fears are based on studies done in the past, which have since been discredited. But unfortunately, with social media, celebrity endorsement, and attaching beliefs to self-identity, it has become difficult to counter these beliefs, and they have since spread. Attempts to change the minds of anti-vaxxers has proven to be difficult at best and having a backfire effect at worst. A backfire effect is when a position that is held is only strengthened when evidence is provided to counter it. These personal beliefs are very much ingrained into a person's identity, and confirmation bias is very common. Confirmation bias is when a person tends to favor, interpret, or when they decide to recall information in ways that only strengthen or confirm their beliefs. People don't want their beliefs challenged and will cling to them, but when a belief is this dangerous, it is worth looking into ways to challenge the belief in a way that won't backfire. Hypothesis. Instead of opposing a belief by countering it, would it be better to replace the existing belief with an alternative one? The goal here is that by providing concrete examples about the threats of not vaccinating, the doubts that anti-vaxxers have about vaccines should be overcome. The overarching goal being to find ways to educate anti-vaxxers in a way that makes them change their mind and to prevent them from digging their heels in. The study. The participants of the study come from one website called Amazon Mechanical Turk, also known as MTurk. Anyone can sign up for the site, and it provides a way to make some money on the side, since most of the work is done at home on a computer. Users can select the work they want to do. The work itself is outsourced by businesses that need stuff done that can't be done by computers on their own. This includes surveys, translations, and stuff like that. Although the number of participants started at 811, the final total was 315, with 160 females and 155 males, the average age being 35.44 and the standard deviation of 11.60. The reason for the drop in number of participants is the attention checks. Attention checks are used throughout the survey that will ask users something to see if they are paying attention, or just coasting through the survey looking for an easy payout. These can be things like trap questions, attention filters, or reverse wording. If a user fails these attention checks, they can be dropped from that study. The procedure. Each participant was asked about their attitudes towards vaccines, their belief between autism and vaccines, some distractor questions, and attention check questions. These were all on a 6-point scale. As discussed on the previous slide, those that passed the attention checks were asked to return. On day 2, the returning participants were assigned to one of 3 conditions: disease risk intervention, autism correction intervention, or the control intervention. Those that were assigned to the disease risk intervention were asked to read pieces of information taken from the Center for Disease Control, or better known as the CDC, in random order. These included a mother's perspective about having a child that contracted measles, 3 pictures: 1, a child with measles; 1, a child with mumps; and the last, a child that had rubella. Finally, there was a short warning about the importance of vaccinations. In the autism correction condition, participants got information on research that showed no link between vaccines and autism. In the control intervention, the participants, and I had to look up how to pronounce it, got a vignette on an unrelated scientific topic. A vignette, for those that don't know, because I sure didn't, is a short but very descriptive piece, normally between 800 to 1,000 words. The materials used for both the disease risk intervention and the autism correction condition were taken from the CDC website. After the participants completed their condition task, they were re-asked about their vaccine attitudes, the same as on day 1. And the last part consisted of collecting some final information, such as previous vaccine behaviors, intent to vaccinate their kids, and some general demographic information. Analysis. A 2-way ANOVA between condition and parenthood was done to ensure equal findings for both parents, and a 1-way ANOVA was used to summarize the main effect of condition, which happened to be significant. It was also found that pre-test differences of vaccine attitudes were the same between non-parents and parents. Parenthood had no main effect. Neither was any interaction between condition and parenthood found, which meant that both parents of children and non-parents were affected in the same way by the study. The graph here, figure 1, shows the vaccine attitude change between parents and non-parents. A 1-way ANOVA was conducted to see the main effect of the condition, which happened to be significant. The graph here shows that 1-way ANOVA and an attitude change score between the 3 conditions. As can be seen, the disease risk condition had the largest change, with both the autism correction and control condition being relatively the same, with little to no change. Results. Using a combination of post-test and pre-test vaccination attitude was created and called a vaccination attitude change score. Those that were in the disease risk condition had more positive change condition scores than the autism correction condition. Also, the autism correction condition had no greater effect than the control condition did. There was no meaningful alteration of their existing attitudes towards vaccines. The disease risk condition had a much greater effect on the participants. Conclusions. The hypothesis of replacing one belief with another belief was found to be more effective than just trying to counter the belief. It was also found that parents and non-parents were not swayed by the autism correction or control condition. This is important in that non-parents may become parents in the future, or they may influence other parents or parents-to-be. This provides a better framework to convince parents to vaccinate their kids. It's great for their children and great for other children that they interact with at parks, schools, and other public areas. Ensuring enough kids get vaccinated is essential to prevent the return of diseases that should only exist in history books. There are some children that can't get vaccinated for medical reasons, and they rely on as many kids that can get vaccinated around them to ensure they don't get anything. This is good for everyone. Limitations. There was one main limitation with the study, and that all of the participants were found online from one site. It might be worth looking into doing a broader study. Although this limitation is a cause of convenience, there are a lot of mTurk users and it's worth tapping into, but it does restrict the potential study participants. Here are the references that I used for the study. And I want to thank you all for your time. Thank you very much.